The opioid crisis has claimed countless lives and left families shattered, but one father is shining a light on the problem. Kirk Jonah, who lost his 19-year-old son Jack in 2016, is working with JC Films and the Jack Jonah Foundation to produce a film on Jack's life and the opioid epidemic. Well-known actor Dean Cain has signed on to the project. I sat down with Kirk and the producer of JC Films, Campbell, to learn more.
As we've spoken before, the Jack Jonah Foundation was created, and it's a nonprofit 501c3, and it finally got approval in December of 2018. With that, we had an event, The Walk, Jack's Walk, back on May 4th. We had over 1,000 people attend the walk. And during that walk, a very, very lifelong best friend of mine, Mike Turville, who wrote a book, A Promise to Astrid, and it's a faith-based book regarding an angel in his life. And JC Films and Dean Cain, who starred in the movie, did a movie on that, based on the book. So Mike came to me and said, "Hey, Kirk, would your family want to talk to me on Monday, blah, blah, blah." And I said, okay. He comes over, and he said, "We'd like to do a movie. I've been speaking with Jason Campbell of JC Films. We'd like to do something regarding the opioid crisis and do a movie. Would you guys be willing to do that?" So we sat down as a family, and we talked about the pros, the cons. There's going to be some really difficult scenes. And my wife said, and my kids said, "You know, Jack's involved in this, and so isn't God. There's something big here. Let's do it. Let's save lives." We have a great script. It's not a biography, and it's not chronological. It's got a lot of moving parts in it, a lot of the true stories in it, and it's an incredible script. And you will probably figure out the movie because you know us, but when we show this film outside of the area, there's parts in the film where we're going to allow you to understand what's going on. And at the end, you're going to have this, like, boom. And so very powerful. So.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about JC Films, some of the films you've done, and why you wanted to tackle the opioid crisis.
I started JC Films 6 years ago with a purpose. We said we wanted to make Christian faith-based films that are family-friendly, that tackle an issue. Our first one dealt with internet safety. We tackled that issue with a feature film starring Eric Estrada. Then Eric and I ended up making 4 or 5 films together on other topics and other issues and different things. And just recently, last month, we filmed an anti-bullying film. It was a zombie film, about an anti-bullying film that Dean played the principal and participated in. And I guess it was about a couple months ago after Dean and I had made a film called A Promise to Astrid, which Country Living magazine just rated one of the top Christian films in 2019. It was a film based in Chicopee, so we shot it in West Virginia. And that's kind of when the discussion, Mike Torwell was telling me about Kirk and his family and Jack and the foundation and the walk and all these wonderful things that were going on in Western Massachusetts. But he also was telling me all the negative things, the bad things going on in Western Massachusetts, and that was the opioid crisis and how it's affecting so many people and so many families. And of course, I'm from West Virginia. Our production company's in West Virginia. We have that issue too, in a big way. So it kind of hit home and said, let's do something about it. And that's kind of what we do. We create these films to change the culture. See, I believe we can change the culture through films. And Dean Cain's on board in exactly what we're trying to accomplish. And so we met and decided, hey, let's go for this. And like you said, his daughter got on board, and her and I have had many conversations about Jack and how do we make this film so it's relevant to a nation that's basically, I mean, it's a killer among what's happening, and we're hoping that this film can make a difference. It was so exciting, though, this past week. My family came up here, just the community. We had auditions. I would say we had over 200 people come out, not just those that want to get involved and say, hey, I want to be in the film, I want to help. And a lot of these auditions, we had 3 audition rooms coming on. The director was there. We had different other people, the actresses and different things, just meeting people. They ended up being, of course, people auditioned for roles in the movie, but a lot of this was this open sharing about how heroin has affected their lives, their families. A lot of tears were shed that Saturday in that high school.
And when you talk about, the number of people who are involved, but you mentioned Dean Cain, Superman. I mean, that's a big get, for this type of film.
Well, of course, when I go to him on projects and said, "Hey, Dean, what do you think about this?" This was when I'm in. He goes, "I get it. You know, I know what's going on in America. I know what's going on." He goes, "And I've never done a film on this subject." And he's like, "I'm in. You know, sign me up. You know, let's do it." It'll take us probably about 13 to 15 days of filming, all within Springfield, Agawam, West Springfield. Wonderful community, and wonderful people. It's funny, just riding around with Kurt and talking to people. What can we do to help? How can we help? What can we do to support this film? Do you need a whole big pan of lasagna? Kurt's like, yeah, bring the lasagna, bring it on. We need any support
Everything.
we can.
Right,
yeah.
Right, yep.
So it's been a beautiful way of connecting with the community.
And Kirk, I just want to pick up on a point that you had brought up, that this is going to be hard. This is
Yes.
going to be painful. There are going to be parts and you're reliving
Yes.
memories.
Some very, very difficult parts, yes.
How do you plan to prepare for that?
You don't. So what we're looking at doing is saying this is going to help save a life. And so you keep that in mind, that this is what Jack would want. He would want people to not make the same mistake that he made. And so he would want us to share the story and other people's stories. And you have that faith. You're just hoping that the scene someone will see it and it'll trigger something and it'll say, hey, it'll save a life. And that's how you handle it.
And so you're going to be filming in August.
Yes.
And when do you expect, and where could people find the film?
Well, we're hoping to have it sometime released before the end of the year, October, November, because we haven't set a date on that. We'll see how the process of filming goes. So that's good. Of course, we'll have a big premiere, a big event here when the film comes out. We're talking about a lot of local talent. There's tremendous talent in this area, West Springfield, and the theater community. We had an opportunity to meet so many of those folks that came through and said, hey, I want to be a part of this film. So we know that we'll just have a big community support with the film in launching it. Of course, Dean will bring him back up here for the premiere and make a wonderful event of it.
Okay. And, a lot of people might be saying, well, they're looking at you at how outspoken you are and how composed you are, talking about a son that you lost at 19 years old. Not everybody could do that who's been in your shoes. What could you say to families who are struggling, who've either lost a loved one to the opioid crisis or who have, somebody in their family who's going through this right now?
Right. So what I typically do is share what I have done myself and what has helped us as a family. And so what we did is we went to a counselor as a family. And then from there, Dan went off to his counselor. Carolee has her own counselor, my wife, and myself. And you need that professional. For us, we needed that professional help. And that gives you a sense of how to manage things. Like, how do you manage a grieving child versus a grieving mother? It's different. And so that's what I needed to learn, right? How do I manage this? And then it's community, it's friends, it's family, and having that support mechanism is also very, very critical for us. And I'm very blessed with the friends that I have. I'm very blessed with the family that I have, and I'm very blessed with my immediate family. And now I met here we are meeting somebody else, and I met his family. They're beautiful kids,
And so through your son, you're making sure that people don't forget what this crisis does, but
correct.
Obviously honoring his memory.
That's correct. And
it.
Again, we just want to continue to get out there and save lives.